Then like when it comes to like planning, is it how many are involved? Like is how stressful is it? How long does it take to
Sorry, somebody's alarm is going off now.
Oh,
This is Joyce. I said I'd sit outside for a chat. Hopefully it won't be on. Can you hear it?
Yeah. make sure it's okay.
Yeah, it's fine. So I guess Limerick group, well, we have a core committee of 10 on the Pigtown group, but then the different events are run by different people and different venues. So everyone, there'll be someone on the committee liaising with, whoever's running events and so on. But we spread it out pretty good, I suppose. We all have our roles, and we all know different people in industry, so everyone's able to reach into their black book. Or to be honest, sometimes it's venues come to us and they say, I like Pigtown, I'd love to be involved, and can we get involved this year? And we love that because we are a voluntary group, so it's we don't have the means to go around knocking on everyone's door and everybody's door, and yet we are an open, we'd love people to approach us. So we have had a lot of events on simply because people got in touch and said, we'd like to be involved, what can we do? We'd love to put on an event for the festival and what's involved.
Brilliant. And have you ever struggled to get people on board with you, like to volunteer, or does that, I suppose, like due to the success you've had, it's probably getting easier and easier each year, I would assume.
Well, it changes, you see, it evolves. I mean, sometimes people will get involved and they'll run something, and then for whatever reason, they might not choose to run it in the following year, or they might choose to do something different the following year, or they might choose to collaborate with someone else, so it evolves. It's evolved quite organically, I suppose, in that way. There are some events that worked really well in past years that we would love to bring back, but just because of COVID, we weren't in a position to. And actually, we had a great network, an event called Pigtown Food Works. We had it for the first 3 years. We couldn't do it because of COVID, but we definitely would love to bring that back as well next year, because that's a great industry event, an industry networking event. And as well as the parade, obviously, is a big one that's missing. But there have been other events, panel discussions and things like that, some really good ones that we will, they don't necessarily run every year, but if we want to find a way to bring them back into the festival program, So I guess we try, things that get tried and tested. We have a few key events that happen every year, and then some regular dining events now, which is because they have worked out really well. And those I guess those restaurants and so on want to be involved every year. That's great for us, that they have the enthusiasm for it. So look, there are other events. We've always more up our sleeve, It's a voluntary group, I guess, that's behind it. So there's always more we could do, but we have to just do what we can every year. But it comes together. It all comes together eventually after a lot of conversations and phone calls, and it somehow comes together every year. That's what we always, by the time we all sit down and we pull it together, it's like, okay, great, it's looking well. Yeah.
And that's actually that's what I like. You've been asked this numerous occasions, but I have to ask, I mean, what was last year like with the challenge of COVID and the first kind of
last year was obviously we only had one, we could only do one kind of family event, which was, we couldn't do it in the milk market even. We did bring our big piggy to the potato market because it was a craft market happening there. And we did, for the first time, we did that mask making demo. And that, again, like that was a bit of normality, or a bit of something in the middle of the year that was nothing in terms of events or things to go to. But it was difficult. We had a lot of events planned that were cancelled because restrictions changed. So we were planning the festival and had events booked, and then because of COVID situations, restrictions got heightened, and so I think a lot of the October events, a lot of the October dining events and things like that fell away. But we managed to have we still managed to have a few. We managed to get off the ground. We managed to have a festival, but it was obviously limited. More limited than this year. Like we have a lot more happening this year. Even with the milk market last year, we couldn't really bring any events into the market because it was obviously it was very tightly monitored, and they were being very careful, and they weren't having any external events. So this year we have an art and we have an antiques and craft fair happening, and actually there's a big competition in that. There's a prize worth €500 for naming the pig, and but then as well as that there's and what date is that now? You'll find the date. I can't. No, I can't. My eyesight won't. Oh, there it is. Sunday, September 26th.
Sunday,
And
September.
then there's another Sunday, we have an art fair. So the Art of Pigtown art fair is happening on the October 10th. So yeah, so we couldn't have those last year. We didn't have the milk market available to us as a venue because of COVID last year, whereas now we were able to collaborate this year, which is great.
Brilliant,
So
yeah.
look, we're slowly, I mean, this still won't be the same as the 2019 festival. So maybe by the time we get to 2022, we'll be able to bring everything back that we had to dial down.
Yeah, it's different in its own right. I mean, every year is different. So I
Yeah.
mean, it'll be enjoyable nonetheless. And actually, if you've ran through several events there, like, just to pick your brain quickly, if you had to pick one event that to you, I don't know, is different this year, or like stands out more than usual, what would it be, if any at all?
Well, I suppose the 061 dinner is great because it's the first time we've done it. It's our opening event this year. It's 6 restaurants with locally sourced menus, which is brilliant because that's kind of what we're all about. Is and I love the tagline, getting the 061 on your plate, and that just kind of happened by accident, but that is what we're all about. Actually, is you know, look at what's going on here. Look, because Irish food has moved on so much in the last decade. It's just taken such a leap, and there's amazing things going on in Irish food, and we don't want to be left behind in Limerick, you know, because there's great things going on. So we yeah, I guess that one's an exciting one. There's loads going on. If I start going through them all again, I love all the tours and the trails and, you know, that kind of thing too. But I do think it's great this year. Like, we got those 6 restaurants to enthusiastically commit to giving us a menu of all local suppliers for that night. And you never know where that could lead to, you know. Absolutely. So that's an exciting one. Yeah. So the 16th of September, I would advise people, if you're interested in going, to book, because restaurants are going to get booked up. There's only 6 restaurants, and the bookings are already going in from what I believe. So yeah, so I'm excited about that because, again, it's a new one this year, and I'm sure it's a great title, isn't it? The 061 dinner.
Yeah, I thought it was brilliant. Like, when I was reading about it, I was like, aha, okay, I like it. But like, I suppose, in the most general way, what do you think the impact is that it has on Limerick, just in general? Like, what's the biggest impact the festival has for everyone?
Well, I would hope there is an educational element, as you said. That mightn't be the biggest impact, but maybe it's just getting people on a local level. Maybe it's just getting people to realize what's there in our locality.
Awareness,
in terms of in Limerick. God, we actually have this many producers, we actually have this many restaurants, or maybe it's just like, wow, you know, look at what our food culture is at now, because people don't stop sometimes. You know, tourists come in and look at things through a brand new set of eyes, and they see things for what they are now. Whereas when you're living somewhere, you don't really stop and look at it in the same way. You know, we're all guilty of that. Yeah. So maybe it's an opportunity for us to, you know, to make people stop and take stock and go, God, there's actually loads going on in Limerick food. And it's actually, you know, we're not, because people talk about in an Irish context, they talk about, you know, Cork, obviously, because of Ballymaloe, the huge reputation in Cork, or there's some, you know, there's some places that would have very big, whereas, you know, we need to fly the flag for Limerick food as well. And we need to just remind people, because there's great people doing great things, and they're all operating away, you know, quietly operating, plugging away. And it's nice to just go, no, you know, you need to recognize what's going on here, because actually there's great stuff going on here too. Yeah. And some great people involved.
Brilliant.
So I hope, I guess, I think I've kind of gone through everything. I'm hoping I haven't left anything out in terms of the events and so on. But there's full event listings at pigtown.ie, and there's booking information, and then there will be booking links there for anything that isn't there already. So that's where the most, of course, we're on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram as well. So there's information on there as well, and you can contact through the social media channels, make contact if any questions and so on.
Absolutely brilliant. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you, and
I hope I got it all out. I really was hoping I wouldn't forget anything.
No. Yeah, no, there's a lot of information there, and for like you said there, so like you can basically go online, pigtownfestival.ie, you can find all the information there, and any information on the t-shirt that you're wearing.
And my lovely t-shirt, no, actually my t-shirt just has our lovely Pigtown logo, but the t-shirts are for sale.
Brilliant.
So you will see the t-shirts, I think, in the milk market at the Edge, and I think Treaty City Brewing are going to be selling some as well in the brewery. And we have some badges floating around. So if you're in the Milk Market on Culture Night, you might be able to get some of the badges. And yeah, so we have, we don't have any brochures this year. With COVID last year, we didn't print brochures, and we did do it again this year. We bring it back next year, but there are posters around. There should be posters around with more information on them as well. And ads, we're in the leader in the Post this week, and the ad is on the radio. So look, hopefully, you know, everyone will be able to get a sense of what's going on and get the information. So check your Limerick Post, you'll find the ad. Yeah. Am I saying the right things? Yeah.
But no doubt it'll be amazing again, and just fun for anyone involved, and hopefully families can enjoy it, and basically anyone who is around, please pop in and have a look, because it's going through September straight through October, and I just think it's brilliant. I think everything involved, it's just, yeah, like you said, flying the flag for Limerick. It's just, yeah, it's important, and yeah, again, just shining a bit of light on people whose craft maybe doesn't get enough attention. So yeah, it's brilliant. All in all, I hope it goes well, and I really appreciate your time. Thank you so much for joining us today as well.
Thanks very much, Mark. I really enjoyed it. Thank you.
Absolute pleasure.